Okay, so let's get right into it. For more than 60 years, if you thought about Malaysia, you thought about one political party, UMNO. I mean, they were the architects of the modern nation, a political giant that seemed absolutely untouchable. But today? Today, they're fighting for their very survival. So, the big question is, how did this giant fall so hard, and is there any chance it can get back up? You know, this quote just nails the problem perfectly. UMNO's legacy is undeniable, right? It's like that old Nokia. It built the country's foundations, it's tough, it's nostalgic, but in a world that's all about slick, fast, digital platforms, the party finds itself completely stuck, totally unable to connect with a new generation.
And that right there, that's the core question we're going to tackle in this explainer. We're going to break down how the party went from being this absolute powerhouse to, well, a political has-been. And we'll explore the blueprint that could either lead to its rebirth or confirm its slide into the history books.
To really understand the scale of what's happened, you have to appreciate the before and after. The party isn't just in a slump. No, it's facing a full-blown identity crisis.
The contrast here is just, wow, it's stark. On the left, you've got the UMNO that ran the show for 61 straight years, the party of nation building. And on the right, that's the reality today, a party completely scarred by scandal, now a junior partner in a coalition, just trying to stay in the game. It is a staggering fall from grace.
So, before we get to the rot, let's take a look at what made UMNO so dominant in the first place. You see, this wasn't just any political party. For decades, it was a genuine engine of social transformation.
This timeline really shows the party's early vision in action, and these weren't just acronyms on a piece of paper, they were life-changing institutions. FELDA lifted millions of people out of rural poverty. MARA created a whole new generation of Malay professionals. And the new economic policy, the NEP, that was the masterstroke, a hugely ambitious plan to re-engineer the entire economy. For a very long time, UMNO wasn't just promising a better future, they were actually building it.
And if you want to see the impact boiled down to a single number, this is it. In less than 2 decades, Malay ownership of the economy jumped by more than 10 times. This policy literally created the modern Malay middle class, and with it, cemented UMNO's power for generations. I mean, that's a remarkable achievement.
So, with such a powerful legacy, what on earth went wrong? Well, it turns out the very success that built the party also contained the seeds of its own decay. Power, when it's left unchecked for that long, it started to corrupt the system from the inside out.
And this brings us to a really crucial concept: warlordism. The party's internal structure, it changed. It became less about national policy and way more about patronage. You had these division chiefs operating like modern-day feudal lords, controlling who got access to government projects and money. To get ahead, you needed cash and connections, not good ideas.
And this, of course, brings us to the scandal that broke the camel's back. 1MDB wasn't some random act of corruption. No, it was the logical, predictable conclusion of this warlord system. A system where the lines between the party's treasury, the nation's treasury, and personal bank accounts had become dangerously, fatally blurred.
And this slide right here shows the absolutely devastating result. While the old guard was consumed by their internal power games, they lost an entire generation of young Malay voters. And look, they didn't just drift away from UMNO. They flocked to rivals like the Perikatan Nasional Coalition, which was offering a narrative of religious integrity that a scandal-stained UMNO simply couldn't compete with.
This quote just captures the cultural decay perfectly. As money politics took over, the technocrats, the thinkers, the people who actually designed those nation-building policies back in the golden era, they were pushed out. The party suffered a catastrophic brain drain, and it left a huge vacuum of ideas right at the top.
Okay, so that's the diagnosis. It's pretty grim, but is there a cure? Well, analysts and reformers have laid out a clear, if very difficult, path forward. It's a potential blueprint for what you could call UMNO 2.0.
So this proposed blueprint, it's comprehensive. Structurally, you got to break the power of the warlords with direct elections. Intellectually, you need to bring the nerds back. Culturally, you have to sever that toxic link between politics and getting government contracts. Narratively, they need to change their entire story. And policy-wise, it's time to update the playbook for the 21st century. It's not a tweak, it's a total overhaul.
The psychology behind the message here is absolutely key. The old narrative, UMNO protects Malays, it frames the community as weak, as needing a guardian. The proposed new narrative, UMNO builds the Malay future, that's all about empowerment and agency. It's a massive shift from a story of fear to one of opportunity, and that is way more likely to connect with a younger generation.
And for anyone who thinks this kind of reinvention is impossible, just take a look at this. Other dominant parties around the world have walked this exact path. Japan's LDP came back from huge scandals by cleaning house. Indonesia's Golkar adapted to a whole new democratic era. Now, it's never easy, and success is definitely not guaranteed, but there is a clear precedent for these kinds of political comebacks.
So, this all leads us to the final crucial question about UMNO's future. The path to reinvention is there, but does the party actually have the will to take it?
And this slide really lays out the two roads ahead. Path 1 is the status quo. Keep the warlord system, keep the money politics, and just slowly fade into a political punchline. Path 2 is radical reform. Become a modern party of competent nationalists. It's a choice between a slow, certain death and a painful but possible rebirth.
Ultimately, it all boils down to this one question. To save itself, UMNO has to be willing to destroy the very system of patronage and power that its current leaders benefit from. It's the ultimate political paradox. And the answer won't just decide the fate of one party. It could very well shape the future of Malaysia itself.